So, a little while ago, they released a documentary called The Outhouse.
The pros to The Outhouse were no rules. The con to The Outhouse was you could die.
It's about this awful-looking punk rock venue in the Midwest that was literally just a brick white shack in the middle of the cornfield. And the doc was filled with people talking about when they went there, how crazy the shows would get, how hazardous to their health it was. And it's such a well-known venue that last year Clutch actually put out a song about it that was called Gimme the Keys. And for the longest time, I thought that that place has got to be the absolute worst place for a band to put on a show. And then I saw the movie Green Room. A punk rock band called the Ain't Rights, or the Aren't Rights, as the venue misspells. They're traveling through the Northwest when they are booked to work a show in a small bar on the outskirts of a Portland town, which just so happens to be the home base for a group of skinheads.
They're not like burning crosses or anything, right? Like we just play rock.
I'd play earlier stuff, heavier stuff.
Portland.
Nazis. I hate
Portland.
Nazis.
After their set, they stumble into the green room where someone has been killed, and the bar's owners hold them all hostage, intent on killing them to remove any witnesses to the crime.
They're killing us. Keep the gun!
The big takeaway from this movie, big enough that I've shown it to a few people, and they did not like it, is that this movie seems way too real. It seems like a type of thing that, in this extreme of a situation, could actually happen. The characters are all distinct, but they're understandable. The situation is horrifyingly plausible, and the tension feels as real as it possibly can. There's nothing supernatural about this. There is nothing otherworldly about it. Between the setting, the motivations, the personalities, and especially the reactions, there is just this feeling of discomfort the entire time you're watching it.
We sit and we wait.
And we die?
Not if you sit and you wait.
I would compare it to another movie I've talked about, I Saw the Devil. I don't like that movie. There's no killer action super cop or unbelievable serial killer here. This is way different.
What is that? Give that to me.
Hand it over.
Oops. Wait, was that a phone? Oh, shit.
The movie actually gives you enough time to feel for the kids you're supposed to be rooting for during the introduction. You follow their struggles as a low-income DIY lifestyle band, and you can tell they're struggling because they camp out in the woods and they drink PBR, the punk rock of Blue Ribbon beers.
Can I still run that interview?
Yeah. What station is it on?
FM 85.5, Breakfast of Champions.
All right, side note. I know that this guy is clearly a fan and he's supposed to be doing them a favor, but in exchange for a 15-minute interview that's going to be on my radio show, I don't think I would ever let a band stay at my place and drink all my beer. Maybe fit for an autopsy because I was actually friends with Tim in high school.
These guys not creeps?
You're on a tight ship.
Except it's a U-boat.
Surprisingly, you don't hate any of the kids in the band. None of them are actively assholes, which is a step up from most Too Punk For You kids I've met in my life. They all seem decent enough at first. Sam, Tiger, Reese, Pat. There's a guy in this band named Pat, who's friends with somebody named Reese. And this is a horror movie with a heavy metal-centric plot that Patrick Stewart happens to be in. Did I get drunk and write this movie by accident?
Hey, we're not, are we?
This was your fucking idea. You back out now, I tell him you're Jewish.
I think the biggest difference between me and these guys is that if I were told that I was going to be booked at a skinhead bar, I would probably just quit. Then again, it wouldn't lead to probably the greatest moment in this film, which is where they decide to cover Dead Kennedys as their second or third song.
Nazi buns, Nazi buns, Nazi buns.
Fuck off! Nazi punks! Nazi punks! Nazi punks! Fuck off!
Playing Nazi punks fuck off in a bar full of Nazi punks takes balls. Even if it doesn't exactly endear you to the people who are going to be holding you captive.
You can't keep us here, man. You gotta let us go.
We're not keeping you. You're just staying.
So let's talk about the people who own this bar. Definitely in a tough spot over the fact that there's a dead body on their premises and the cops have been called very quickly about a stabbing. They are prepared to deal with it. They not only have total control of the situation, but they've apparently done something like this before several times. There is protocol for this. They take the phones of everyone in the band, keep armed guards outside in case they escape, stage a stabbing so that the call isn't just waved off as a prank. Then they have a plan to deal with the band. They're going to kill them, plant their car on someone else's private property, make it look like they were trespassing and were killed in self-defense. They have really thought this one through, and they very nearly get away with it.
You breathing?
A little bit, yeah.
Let him bleed. Later is better for time of death.
There's really no argument about who the bad guys are, who the good guys are, and what's going to happen. The Nazis are the bad guys. They killed that girl. They're keeping the band in the green room against their will, and they're going to kill every member of that band.
Your set was pretty good. It's fucking hard, man. That's the one I did her to.
That is fucking terrifying. And even the Nazis you're supposed to sympathize with, no, I'm sorry, no, fuck that guy. Fuck all of these guys. There are a lot of great performances in this. Imogen Poots is really good. Elias Shawkat I've only seen in bit roles up until this point, and unfortunately, this is one of Anton Yelkin's last roles before his untimely death. But Patrick Stewart is Patrick Stewart, and he does not disappoint.
This might cost you your livelihood, Clark. As long as it doesn't cost me mine, you're covered.
He plays such a convincing, conniving villain, all while keeping a cool head about this terrible shit. And this is from an actor who has clearly been triggered by lesser things.
You motherfuckers are gonna kill all my lilies!
The idea of Sir Patrick Stewart playing a white supremacist leader is one of those things that just on paper doesn't sound like it would be scary, and to be fair, there are some scenes where it's not. Especially when he's addressing the crowds themselves in the bar.
Those of you attending the racial advocacy workshop on Wednesday, assume it's on unless you hear otherwise.
Whoever said racism can't be taught clearly didn't know that there were workshops. But all it takes is a few simple looks or a line or two of dialogue before he chills you to the bone.
We're not coming apart, is what we are doing. We're saving questions until this pig fuck is transferred offsite.
But his presence definitely adds a lot. He supplies the subtle terror for a movie that is already pants-crappingly gory and disturbing.
Good. What?
I know where we keep.
There are a lot of crazy practical effects, some disturbing visuals like this guy dragging someone by a knife wound.
No, fuck, man, no.
There it is.
And probably the most horrific machete attack I've ever seen on film.
Yo, help me move the couch.
That would have been a good point to say if you're squeamish, look away, right? Sorry. The shots of his arm are so quick and sharp, they don't need to linger on it for very long. But that image does not leave your head. Neither does that one. Christ, lady. Gotta say, despite the horrifying situation, the members of the band managed to put up a solid fight. They do the best they can with some decently thought out tactics, the fact that the dude in there knows jujitsu and brags about it constantly, and, well, some interesting improvised weapons.
Where are we going?
Oh great, light tubes. So when she's done with that, she can go fight Zandig.
You are gonna die! I guarantee it! Jesus!
There's actually a lot of improvised weapons that come from the band's equipment themselves. Mic stands, cases, and probably the smartest use of my least favorite sound ever. Oh god, the feedback burns, but at least the dogs run away, so that's good. And for a while, you were actually filled with hope that they make this grand stand. They're all going to make it out alive. They're going to overcome this. Oh, God damn it. Oh, God. Yeah, only 2 of them make it out alive, and it is a hard-fought battle. Nothing but tension the entire time they are trying to get out of that building. Broken up only by little moments of success, and also this moment, which I think is just morbidly hysterical.
I'm hungry.
I can't die here with you.
Yeah, occasionally the movie throws in a really funny line or two in the middle of everything, and it's just enough to make you laugh before you're just thrown back into hell.
Hi, down there, dipshit fashion punk clown motherfuckers!
Turn around!
Shazbot!
What?
And yeah, in case you were wondering, these 2 are the ones that make it through at the end. Amber, the friend of the girl who got stabbed at the start of this whole mess, and the only member of the band to survive, who was named Pat. Score. Oh, and all the dogs they had, despite the fact they're vicious killers and took out a hefty amount of the main cast, they make it out of the film alive too. Felt like I should say that, because there are some people out there who will totally shit on a movie if a dog gets hurt. You're in the clear here. No dead dogs. And more than a few dead Nazis. So, I guess this is a victory by a small margin?
It's funny. You were so scary at night.
Green Room is, without a doubt, one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen in my life. It's not what I would call fun to watch, but it is a thrilling ride even after a few viewings. Some people may be turned off by how gritty and unpleasant and, again, realistic everything seems, but I think it's just highlighting how good the director is at thinking of a horrifying scene and then painting a picture with it. You're not supposed to feel good watching this movie, and he makes that well known. The movie didn't do that well at the box office, it didn't make back their budget, but it got great reviews and it's getting a little bit more of a following through streaming services, so that's good. The director Jerry Saulner is known for doing a lot of crazy thrillers, and I will definitely get to seeing more of his movies in the future, especially Murder Party, which has been on my list of movies to do for a couple of years. I think for a while I'll stay away from his stuff. I need a few days to shake off the... Ugh. Next time we're going back to look at the Universal Monsters. Because I need something far, far away from this.
If I could get my hands on you, I'd break your dried flesh to pieces.